Hey there YouTube and of course the vinyl community. I've really got to get back on track watching videos, commenting on videos, and actually making videos myself. I'm hoping to do a vinyl update video very shortly. I've got so many new records now that I'm kind of losing track as to which ones I've purchased. And I know I'm going to miss something out when I finally do my my vinyl update. But I am hoping to very soon start doing those again. Today's video is basically, this could be kind of a short one on just another addition to my music room. And as you've probably guessed, it's a turntable. And as if I really need another one. But I saw this in town and the price was definitely right. And I just couldn't pass it up. Even if I decide not to keep it, it should be easy to get my money back and then some as well. So very happy to get this. I'm going to quickly show it to you now and give you a quick demo and maybe do a little needle drop on something. So here it is. Alright, so what we have here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's a Kenwood KD 650 turntable. Now this one, if you recall, or many of you have probably seen, you know, on the net or other people's turntables, Kenwood put out something called the Rock. It wasn't called the Rock, it was nicknamed the Rock. And it was the original Kenwood KD 2055, which was a belt-driven turntable. And it was the first one to appear out with this special base. Now the base on this is made out of crushed limestone and glass powders, all molded together. And the end result is a very heavy base. This turntable weighs, with everything inclusive, a total of 35 pounds. I thought my Denon turntable at 26 pounds was heavy, but this is very heavy all the way around. And part of the weight is due to the actual platter itself. I'll take it off here so you can see it. You can see how thick the edge is. Like, that's solid aluminum, and this platter weighs almost 6 pounds just on its own. So, very well constructed turntable. Definitely built to last. The only issue I had with it was the hinges were broken, and I managed to adapt some other hinges to it. And it was kind of an issue with the Kenwood turntables, is broken hinges after a period of time, because the hinge was, the bottom half of the hinge was made out of metal, but the top half that contained the spring was made out of plastic. So what was happening was the spring was breaking through the plastic, and thus the hinges don't work anymore. So, but I managed to fix that issue anyway, which is really the only issue that this turntable has. It's completely manual, so there's no auto return, nothing like that. It is quartz lock, and it reaches speed in less than 2 seconds. Its actual speed. So it's got a very powerful motor inside. Also, these controls here, you get the power button, and for your speed control, these buttons here are really cool. You don't even have to press them. You just basically, you just have to touch them just very lightly, and they'll activate. You'll see I hit the 33. There we go. So I didn't really put any pressure on that button at all. Likewise, to change to 45, you got that button, and then it's got a stop button feature. And basically, the difference between the stop button and the power button is the stop button applies electronic brakes, which cause the platter to stop turning quickly so that you can change your records or whatever. If you don't use the stop button and just press power, you'll see it takes its sweet time to slow down. There is no braking engaged on that when it's in the power off position. So anyway, other features that this turntable has. The tone arm is actually kind of cool looking. I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit closer here. On the back of the tone arm especially. Let me get the camera to pull around a bit. Here we go. Now, you see all these levers on there. That intrigued me too when I first saw all that stuff in there. And what we have, first off, everybody knows what the cueing lever is, which is this one right here. Nice slow damped cueing. Alright, and over on this side over here, you see this funny looking thing that's flopping around, and you see this bar sticking out of the tone arm. Basically that's your anti-skating. It's not an actual spring that most turntables have where you turn the knob and you to adjust it. This is done with a little weight. So you see this little round weight here is on the 1 gram setting towards the back. As you move it to the notches closer to this rubber tip, you're applying 1/2 gram each time you move it up to one notch closer to the end. So right now the cartridge that this came with is a Stanton cartridge. It's not an expensive one. It's fairly inexpensive, and it's set at 1.5 grams for downward stylus pressure, and also 1.5 grams for the anti-skate. So you can see when the arm moves over, it contacts that metal piece at the back and applies just the right amount of force for the anti-skating for 1.5 grams. The feature that I found most intriguing was back here. Now, normally this position here, you can see this large arm here. It's got 2 positions, lock and free. Normally it should be set to lock. And what this does is this unlocks. You put it to free. It unlocks the vertical tracking angle adjustment, which is your VTA, which means that your tone arm, when you're playing a record, you should be looking at your tone arm and seeing whether it's parallel or not to the record playing surface. If it's sloping upwards, that means you have to raise the arm up. If it's sloping downwards, that means you have to lower the arm down, because you want your cartridge to be as parallel to the record surface as possible, so you have the proper vertical tracking angle. And so with this turntable, I really like this feature on here. Like, I have vertical tracking angle adjustments on the other turntables I have, on a few of them anyway, which involve unlocking or loosening 2 screws at the back of the arm and then manually grasping this part of the tone arm and pulling it up and then tightening the screws, or lowering it down and tightening the screws, whichever way you want it to go to adjust it. This one here, there's an actual lever. So if you watch, you'll see the actual tone arm raise and lower. See, there you go. See, it's lowering down, and then this lever locks it up, or raises it up. So when you reach the point, and you got to keep kind of testing with your record, where you feel that the tone arm is parallel, that's when you take the big lever and you lock it into place. So I found that to be really, really cool. Next, I wanted to point out some of the accessories that came with this turntable. First off is a standard accessory. It's a 45 RPM adapter, but what makes this one kind of special is that it's got an overhang gauge on the top of it. That line you can see going right around the whole adapter is the line that when you put it on your platter and you want to align your cartridge properly, the actual stylus tip should align with the outside edge of, or the line from the outer edge. So in this particular case, the overhang isn't quite set right. The cartridge needs to come forward a little bit more, and once you've got that set, then your overhang is set properly. So that was kind of a cool thing to find on these Kenwoods as well, and that's just a standard accessory. This isn't the original turntable mat. Let me zoom in on it a little bit. Okay. Okay, what this is, it's a mat that was developed by a company out of Vancouver, British Columbia, in either the late 70s or early 80s. I'm not exactly sure when it was produced, by a company called Eon. And what it's called a tri-pad turntable mat. And it's built in layers. I'm not exactly sure what the layers are. I know the bottom is very gummy and sticky, and it's actually adhered itself to the metal platter. Then there's a middle layer, and then the top layer is this very fine cork surface. And at the time, it was sold to people who were basically audiophiles who wanted to get the best sound out of their records. And what it would do, it would take out any ringing sound that you would get from the steel platter by dampening it with that gummy stuff on the bottom. And the cork surface was considered an ideal surface for the record to lay on. And the overall advantage of having these mats was overall better sound quality, deeper bass response, that sort of thing. So even though I don't have the original mat, I'm very happy with this. I haven't really given it a chance to really experiment with it to see how much of a difference it makes. I'm going to have to swap out the cartridge in order to do that, because that's really not a cartridge that would be worthy of testing it out. The other accessory that came with this is this guy here, and what it's called is it's made by the same company, by Eon, and it's called a tripod. And what it is an old school record clamp. Now it's all plastic construction, so it's not like, but it's not like this sucker here, which is all aluminum. They act differently, but they both get the same results in the end. This one works strictly on weight, and it just sits on top of your record like that, holds the record firmly into place. So this really wouldn't be considered a clamp. It's a record weight. This, on the other hand, is a clamp, but it gives the same effect. And there's a little adjustment ring on here that if it's in the top position, it sits on your spindle very loosely, so it really doesn't do much in the way of clamping or weight or anything like that. So what you do is you slide the ring down to where you get a nice snug fit without being too tight on your record spindle. So we can try there. You can see how it sits on top. So now it requires me to push it down. So what the idea is, actually it's too snug, so I'll move that back up a little bit. Get it to where you want it, and then you see it's a nice snug fit. It grasps the spindle, and at the same time, with the pressure downward pressure you put on it, it'll hold your record into place and work very much like the record weight does. So that's basically it for this turntable. Again, it was something that, I saw it, I had to get it because, like I said, the price was right, and I'm sure, should I decide to resell it, I can get my money back plus more. So anyway, what we'll do next is we'll do a quick needle drop, and that'll be it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Take care, everybody. I'm riding along.